Hello, I'm Ciaran Doran and a very, very warm welcome to you all to A Table for Four. Today, this workshop is called Tin Cans and Crockery, and you might be wondering, what have I let myself in for? We are going to be looking at everyday objects and flowers that you can buy in your local shop. You don't have to go to a bespoke florist or a market. We're going to be looking at things that have a bit of longevity and giving you some lovely little tricks and tips that you can use. Wonderful glasses, by the way.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much.
What's your name?
My name's Kate. I am a digital artist and illustrator based in Belfast, and I specialise in prints that are inspired by nature.
So Kate, thank you so much for coming in today. It's really lovely to meet you.
I'm really excited to be here.
Moving on to you, what's your name and tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm Jai. I'm also an illustrator. I work more traditionally. At the moment I'm using a lot of upcycle kind of materials, no wallpapers, maps. I have something with me if I can
Love to
show
see
you.
it. Yeah.
Someone may have to help me roll this out though.
That's okay.
Yeah. Help me, Ciaran. Thank you.
Oh,
So,
wow. Look at
the
that.
original wallpaper would have been the birds and the trees. And I enjoy using older things because it actually gives you like a baseline to jump off, and so you're not looking at a blank page. It's very helpful that way.
So you've actually drawn this kind of underneath.
Yes.
So it looks like it's peeping out from the trees.
Yes. But basically it's just gel pen, white gel pen.
And how long did that take you?
Not too long, probably about 10 hours over the space of a few days.
10 hours.
That is
10 hours.
incredible.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank
So
you.
how do people buy your work if they wanted to buy it, or how can they see your work?
Well, I'll be on Instagram protagonist portraits.
I'd love to hear all about you. Let me have your name.
So my name's Lauren. I'm a recent graduate from Ulster in screen production. So I really want to get into film or TV. I really love set design and costume designs. I recently got my own house, so stuff like this is ideal because I'm thinking of like sustainable things for around the house and not just going to IKEA and buying it. It's sort of like upcycling. Like some family members have donated like old furniture, so I like paint that and stuff.
And do you know what? You get to take home what you make. So you're gifting yourself something to use in your home. What I'm going to do is we're just going to create a little bit more space for ourselves. I'm going to push some of our things forward a little bit. The whole idea of tin cans and crockery, I'm not really going to do a demonstration. I'm going to work with you, but I'll just talk through what we have. So the way that I look at it is, if I've got an event coming up, it could be a birthday party. Say Lauren's asked us around for her housewarming, okay? You've supplied the wallpaper, you've got some gorgeous prints, and I just want to bring a really nice gift. I think a really lovely thing to do is to bring something that you can reuse yourself that is sustainable, and sustainable with purpose, not sustainable just for the sake of it. You kind of want a little bit of discretion, but a tin can, and what you literally do is put a little plastic pot in the top of the tin can, and then I would literally drop a little potted plant into it. You can overwater those plants, so when it comes to actually working with them, you can't actually hold them. And these, I love these. I call these the quivering violets because they're quite shy. They're quite shy little flowers, so be nice and gentle to them, okay? So this is just an option. You have a tray like this, and then you would add a little tin can, but you might want to build up your height before you do that. So we've got some brown paper. What we do is we scrunch up the brown paper, build up some height, and I have got a beautiful product here. Now I got told off recently. I called this moss, and I was told it wasn't moss, it was something else. But it's reindeer moss, that's what I call it, and I use this. I just want you to feel that between your fingers. Have a good old, just squeeze it gently. It's got a beautiful texture. It's slightly damp, but it's not going to saturate anything. You'd be safe to use that on a cardboard container. So cardboard is also really robust. So what I would do with this, I save bits of plastic, cut up plastic bags. You would just put a little bit of a lining in, then crunch up some brown paper, put your tin can in, and then build up your height and just put the moss on top of it. But what I've also gifted you for this project, and you get to take this home with you, is a lovely teacup. There's a little bit of a story to these. These were very, very, very typical in a wedding service in the 1950s. And the reason I know that is my parents had this service. And I'm from quite a large family. So rather than one person get the whole tea set, we all got a certain amount. Now I've kept my own ones separate. I managed to find another set in a local shop in the Lisbon Road when I was out looking for crockery. So a perfect way to display a beautiful little quivering shy violet is in a beautiful, delicate, fine china cup and saucer. But you don't have to go fancy, you know, you could go for a paper cup. You could illustrate a paper cup with some of your illustrations. You could take brown paper, wrap brown paper around a tin can, add some string. It's all about seeing what you have available. We're probably limited a little bit today with our selection because of time, but your teacup is almost what I would say that quirky icing on the cake that, believe me, once you've got your brown paper in there, your moss on the top, the last thing you actually then do is add your flowers. So for all intents and purposes today, we have got tulips, with a little bit of greenery and some other nice leaves. The leaves are very similar to your style. They're gorgeous.
I noticed
and
that.
It's such a shame we can't have some lovely birds fluttering by as well. So what else have we got here? I won't name the brand, but these are my favourite go-to little pots. What you could also do for this, if you were working with dry flowers, is I would sometimes stuff that with moss and then put the dry flowers in the top, tie a bit of string around it, tie a label onto it, and then you can still use the lid just to rest it on. Another tip, when I am, maybe somebody's asked me to install flowers in their house so it looks like they've done it themselves, you don't want it looking too perfect. It then looks like it's come from a bunch that is like £20, £25, £35. You can pay a fortune for pre-made, pre-wrapped flowers. Why not start delivering and developing your own style? My little shy Violet here, poor Violet, she's so shy. This is a 1950s jelly mould that I got in the Barras Market in Glasgow. So she's always Scottish Violet, she is. And again, you don't really need to do very much. If you are looking and sustaining this plant to have this in your house for quite a long time, you'd probably need to put it into something that's got a bit of drainage, a little bit of tiny little pebbles or something underneath it. But how easy is that to work with? So another really good tip, these are gorgeous. And you were talking about, you just moved into a house, people are giving you things. There has never been more interest in what is called mid-century. I am 62 years of age. I grew up with mid-century and I did not like it. So you will often find in charity shops rare and beautiful pieces of china like this, but don't go paying more than 25p for something like this. But I also think if you gave that to somebody with your little plant in, you know, you don't really have to do too much. If that looked a bit high, just the way that you take your soil off the bottom is just squeeze it and pinch it away. Don't become too complex with worrying about the flowers. Things like this that you might find people are giving you housewarming gifts. I'm afraid these are not Fortnum & Mason, but I had a box of biscuits, sell by date had gone, so I re-gifted the biscuits to somebody who didn't mind the date. And there you have a gorgeous, gorgeous container. So how would I cope with that? Well, first of all, I'll see would a tin can fit in it. Yes, it will. So happy days, is that what I say? Yeah. And what I would probably do is just go for a flower that's got quite a robust stem. So you're looking at roses, you're looking at some of the slightly more woodier stems. If you buy tulips and they're quite tight, they're probably meant to be like that. I love them when they open, but then they usually disappear. Like beautiful flowers in the summer that pop open and then they stop. If you get a pin and put a pin, I'll show you here. Would you like to pass me just a tulip? Just one there. That's great, thank you. They make a lovely noise.
They do.
Quite squeaky. A bit like spring onions or scallions. So a really good trick, what you do is you put a pin or a needle all the way through it. do remember to remove it. And if you take that out, when you put it in water, overnight they will not droop, they will stay upright. So that's a really, really good trick to learn. So I'll let you start off with that. Always keep a little pin handy when you're working. So between us, what else have we got? I'm going to show you how I would display just a simple arrangement in my beautiful 1930s teapot. I have also got some china, and I think this has got almost like imaginary birds on. I think that would go beautifully with your wallpaper. And Kate, I'm sorry, I'm looking at you. Everybody loves the inner child. And I have this gorgeous little teapot that I have been dying to use. Do you like to work with the tiny teapot?
It would be my honour. Thank you. Thank you.
You've also got a couple of other things. It's sometimes nice to don't just think of your arrangement as you're working on it. Think, how could I display this? A little bit of styling. Imagine this is your Selfridges or your Harrods window or Liberty's window. They often do a little bit of kind of pyramid dressing, a bit of styling, and sometimes you might just have little pieces. So I'm sure you will come up with something really lovely to do with that.
Thank you.
And what I'd like you to do also is maybe think, what container would I use? So you might like to set it on a tray, so it looks like a forest scene or something, and you'll get to take it all with you. There's a little shoebox lid there that I think would be perfect.
Oh, great.
I've also got that I think would work well if you wanted to do a second arrangement. It's really uncanny. I had chosen this bag before I knew that we were going to be working together.
Right,
And
okay.
I just think with that bag, you could put a basket on the inside and you could gift that to somebody. Also, if somebody really liked Frida Kahlo, that would be good.
Absolutely,
I mean,
I do.
you have to be practical, and you have to be creative. You're not going to be wandering through Belfast with something that's so precarious you can't handle it. But there's nothing to say, oh, just give me a minute when you arrive, and you say, just arrange it for them. Or if somebody said, oh, can you come round? But you say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll set the table for you. And that's when you do your piece, especially for special events. It's a really nice personalised thing to do. So I'm going to hand that to you.
Thank you so much.
And Lauren, how would you feel about maybe starting off? Got this lovely basket here, and you'll get to take that home with you. I'll let you take that in a minute. Just need to take out the contents. So what that is already lined with plastic. Okay. So all you'd need to do is scrunch up some newspaper, have a little think about your design, and just think what plants you're going to use. And you, Jai, what would you like to use? What are you drawn towards?
Obviously the birds.
I think so. Definitely.
Great
Maybe
idea.
a little one here.
Gorgeous, yeah. And you get to keep those as well. And do you know what we also have? Quite ironically, I've got a cyclamen that features on there as well.
Perfect.
We've also got, you got another one. So what you might like to do is, we'll create a bit more room, is perhaps take a basket about this shape, or maybe go for that one, and you could build up your height. Or what you can also do is just use your box upside down and just even set your things and just have your arrangement that way. Okay. I want you to just remember, you want to have enough height to see your items, okay? And I'm going to clear this little tray for you.
Oh, thank you.
So
yes,
in
perfect.
here, while I'm doing that, would you like to separate you take the flowers to one side.
Okay.
And if you could separate the flowers.
Thank you.
And if you could pick out the flowers from that. So we end up putting the flowers on that side on the table and the greenery on that side, okay?
Same for me.
Yeah, so that we can actually see together rather than having your own individual bunch. And I'll just work through those with you. What I'm going to do is push these forward. So you can decide to take whatever you want. The jelly mold, unfortunately, actually I might put the jelly mold in there. You see, I quite like that. That is quite simple. That works quite well. That looks good. So what you will find is with your tin can, there are all sorts of things you can do. I have a little title, I'm known as the very secret florist, which means that it's not about me. People don't know who I am, and it's fantastic because I said, God, I have no idea who that is. But it means you can do things, and it's about the flowers rather than the person who does it. So the way that you can do that is you could take some of your designs, Kate and Jai, and actually print it, and then print it off, and then just wrap it around a tin can to personalize it. Okay, what I've got for you is your tray that you are going to lay your forest floor with, and don't worry about putting plastic down. What I would say is maybe just a little bit of brown paper to start with.
Okay,
so brown paper, and then just begin to experiment. If you wanted to use a little tray as well, that would be fine. There's a small one there, so I'll give you that to start. Before you do that, what we're going to do is carry on disseminating the flowers so we all get an opportunity. So if you wanted to pick out the greenery and the flowers and just pass them along to us, we'll put greenery on this side, and it just means if you need a bit of foliage, then you can say, I need foliage. This is eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is, just smell that. Isn't that wonderful? That's beautiful. Can you smell that?
I can smell it, it's amazing.
Lovely.
Smell that. So eucalyptus, if you keep it in water, it's the type of piece of greenery that is your best friend. It's got quite a lot of flexibility, so I would use this if I was making garlands, or if in my she shed we wanted to have an archway, I would twine this together. When it dries, it takes on a beautiful old metallic quality, and look, we've got a proper florist. That's wonderful. It just takes on a beautiful quality. It's got a beautiful shaped leaf, but it's your best friend for wanting just to create a contemporary look. So what we're going to do is keep adding our foliage there. I think that's probably enough foliage there to keep us going. So let's have a look at what flowers we've got. If you wanted to pass those over to me, I'll just show you, and to show to the audience as well. So we have got, I'm just thinking, think of the scale of what you're doing. Kate is going quite small, so I think these tiny, tiny little rosebuds would be absolutely perfect. So what I would probably do in the bunch you've got there is disseminate between the rather dried ones, the pinky ones in the left-hand side. So perhaps start a little pile of those next to the tulips. Just there, that's great. And that's great, you've kept a little bunch of the small ones. We're going to carry on, if you pass me those large ones as well, that would be great. Just be really mindful of the thorns on these. But this is what I call a nice woody, robust rose. And with water, that will last up to about 5 days. They look more beautiful as they get older. But what you do is normally, if you're doing a lot of floral arrangement, is cut your stems, bang the stems, get as much water in as you can, cut the leaves off. We haven't got that luxury of time, so just work intuitively as if you are picking these from your garden. But now we know we've got white roses here, we've got some pink roses, we've got, I think we'll let you have back the baby roses. So we've got white, those are good. I'm going to let you keep that one because that would go beautifully with the green. And what else have we got left here? So if you have a minimum budget, but there's a group of you, you could club together, buy your flowers, break them up, and you just find you just get much better rather than buying a bunch, putting it in water. Let's leave, I'm going to give you that one, and then it means we've got another small one here. Oh look, there you go, don't forget. Perfect. There you go. I've also am really always finding little bits and pieces. Here we go, this is the one that has been rescued from the puppy. So I must have hidden it, but there's a little tiny piece of fake fruit there as well. So jugs are also great. So if you had a something that like of a tonal quality, fruit is fabulous to display. So you could pick in the summer a branch with apples on and just let them naturally stay there. I use blackberries, I use as many things that you wouldn't expect in a flower arrangement as possible. Okay, so we're going to move the water to one side. If we need the water, I can pop that in at the end. So this tray is going to be, that will give us a little bit more room, but if anybody wanted to do the display on the tray, they can do. I just think it's a bit large. You've got that tray, and you've got that basket. So what I'd like you to do is carefully take some of the brown paper, tear yourself off a strip, and what you want to do is scrunch up some little pieces like this. So get your base down first, and then really the last thing to do is to start adding your flowers. You don't have to build up too much height.
Yeah.
I would say you need to build up a little bit of height there. So you might want to think, do you want to use that or do you want to use that one?
Well, I like this one.
The what, sorry?
I like this one more.
Yeah, so we'll take that one out. We can always use that for something else. What I'm going to do, I'm not literally going to do that, but I'm going to just pop that there. So if you'd like to, should I tear you off a strip of this? So if you can see what I mean, the flowers are the kind of last bit. So what you need to do is just tear yourself off a couple of bits of that.
And scrunch?
And scrunch away. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think what you probably need to scrunch, but I think you need to build up a little bit of height, okay? So to do that, just scrunch away, and you want to kind of just almost, you know how sometimes you might get a hamper and the stuff is arranged on it. Don't worry too much about keeping everything straight. You're not going to be putting a lot of water in this. What you've got to work with are some of these and some cut flowers as well. You want to get height. So I think the first thing you need to do is take everything out. You carry on cutting strips. I'll do that. Thank you. Okay. And you know what? Don't be shy with this. Really rip it. I'll just pop that there. And you might find it easier to make your little scrunchy bits a bit smaller. And literally put them in your hand like this, almost like you're making dough. And just then tuck them in. Okay, that's it. Perhaps make that a bit more scrunchy. Then it means you can stick your things in it, and you're going to be putting your moss on the top, okay? That's nice. I would say another layer and a bit of scrunch, and then you can put that on the top. So you also perhaps want to think about what flowers am I going to use? So constantly keep thinking. If any of you wanted to add around your tin can a bit of fabric, we've got some here. And then you can tie it on with some embroidery thread. You know, keep it quite loose, keep it quite, you know, somebody might want to take the fabric off. What I love is you're actually creating a little, I'm now taking over, you're creating a little vista, a little vision of like a little palm tree. Do you love the palm house at Botanic?
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes, it's so amazing. And I have 2 monsteras at home, which I've been able to keep alive. So I absolutely love tropical plants.
Do you? Yes. Oh, wow. That's looking rather gorgeous. And what you can do with that is that will last for quite a while without water. But ideally, when you get home, is you could give this all a really, really good spray. What I think you need to do is maybe look at some of maybe the tiny roses and add them into there. And what we'll do is we'll just make sure we add water when you're finished, okay? So what we're going to do in a moment, we just have a couple of minutes to finish off. We've got some beautiful pieces going on here. What I think you need, and I'm going to steal, is that last bit of reindeer moss, and literally just fill up your gaps. You've got a natural flair for this. This is wonderful. If anybody can actually see what we're doing, I'll be very, very impressed. Let me see, what else have we got here? Has anybody got any roses left?
Yes, there's some roses here.
Right, have we got any small or...
Yes, we got the little...
Have you used all the small ones you want to use?
Yes.
Can I trade you one large white rose for those 3 small?
Absolutely, yeah, I don't see why not. That's a bargain, yeah.
So what we'll do is just to complete this off. So again, you cut that there, take off a few of these pieces, break it up into like smaller pieces, and then fill that there. That's looking absolutely gorgeous. Oh my goodness, you know people who go into hotels and do those wonderful displays? I think that's Jai's next career move. And just describe to the camera what you've done.
So it's an accumulation of just chaos. just with like the colour mixing in it, I did the little tin and I put the plant inside, and then I put a bit of red
Was it embroidery thread?
embroidery thread, yeah,
Lovely.
just to kind of show that there's like that tin in it.
Yeah.
And then I also didn't use the tin with the purple flowers, I just put that straight through, and then I ripped off little fabrics for the end. And I just think that kind of finished it off, and I feel like the colours kind of go with it as well, with like the pinks and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I just used the little moss to fill it up and give it more
Are you
dimension.
doing that as well?
I am. I didn't think I would be so
that's
good.
absolutely gorgeous. And Jai, would you like to turn yours around, or perhaps if I turn it around and hold it,
I haven't
so
seen
we
it
can
from
see
the
the.
back yet.
That doesn't matter. Look at that. So then you can hold that, and if you just show that to the audience and perhaps give a little description about your creation.
Well, the main focus I wanted was to stay around these 2 cups with the birds on, so then obviously it matches my wallpaper. I enjoyed these things fanning out in the back. Obviously, unlike your guys, I think mine would have to be from the front like this.
That's beautiful.
That's gorgeous. Absolutely wonderful. I think that is beautiful, and that would look fantastic. And Kate, take me into your enchanted forest. Would you like to hold that up?
Yes.
And why
Welcome.
don't you switch the lights on?
Absolutely. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
That's the pièce de résistance.
It's beautiful. Oh, that is magical, Kate. And do you know what? They're quivering.
Yes.
The forest is awake.
The quivering forest.
Would you like to talk us through your beautiful creation? That's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's more of a scene, like a forest floor, fairies and teddy bears picnic and all that as well. So you can see they've been eating apples and berries in the corner. I just absolutely love the teapot. So that was really the moment in this display. And then we have the forest floor with the moss and the trees and bushes, and we have the beautiful violets as well, of course.
Absolutely beautiful. That's wonderful. Complete your teddy bear's picnic. You have got one of those beautiful fine bone china teacups and saucers to take place. We've got plenty more flowers underneath the table here. I'm really sorry, but that is all we've got time for. And if you want to try any of this at home, just keep it simple, collaborate with your friends, buy flowers together, save your containers like this, only saying, and just remember, yes, flowers do need water, but don't let that inhibit your creativity. Save your tin cans. We're running out of time. I've had an absolutely wonderful, wonderful workshop at a table for 4 with my lovely floral friends. So I'd like to thank you all, to the audience. Should we give the audience a round of applause? They've been wonderful. Thank you to the audience for coming in. You've been marvellous. And I'd like to thank all my participants individual. I think they all individually need a round of applause. So for Lauren, for Jai, and for Kate, and collectively to you all from a table for 4 from Tin Cans and Crockery, just like to say thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you again, and cheerio, we'll see you soon. Bye. Well done.